So let's get started. Murugan, I'm curious, what business needs or challenges are impacting data leaders the most today?
So the results showed us that over 77% of the organizations who responded to this survey named data-driven decision-making as their top goal. And not only that, they also showed that they wanted to make faster decisions. And what we found was the way they achieved this was through advanced analytics, tools to break down the data silos, and improve data quality. There were three underlying characteristics of these organizations. Number one is they had a data strategy in place. Number two, they had a data governance program. And number three, they rated their data quality as high.
Diana?
Well, Kevin, we found that the gap in talent and skills was prevalent across survey results. We saw that two of the top challenges facing the success of organizations' data programs were data literacy and shortage of skills. As you can imagine, that kind of gap in talent has adverse effects across organizations. In fact, more than half of the organizations that we surveyed said that a lack of skills and staff prevent them from achieving the high-quality data that they need. So 48% also say that their data integration projects are impacted by lack of expertise. So we see these effects as pretty prevalent across all results.
Josh?
Yeah, we see a couple things with customers. I'll pick, kind of two ends of the spectrum. One is just the data strategy and where to start and how to craft that. Because you're trying to make those decisions in the context of real projects that are trying to get delivered, and so getting that off the ground, getting buy-in to that's a complicated approach. And we work with customers through our strategic services team to kind of help them understand how to craft that strategy in the context of business outcomes they're looking for, as well as how to kind of articulate that strategy to a broader team. On the skills side, what we're seeing is that customers are looking for more value from tooling that is easier for lower skill resources to engage with, as well as more comprehensive. And so that certainly is reflected in our product strategy, which is to try and make it easier for customers to kind of move along further and faster this data integrity journey with an easier use kind of interface and a comprehensive set of skill or capabilities that allow folks to do more with the existing skills they have in-house.
Excellent. I think we all understand, no matter what industry you're in, kind of staying on top of and abreast of the trends is really important. Murugan, what are data leaders really focused on from a trends perspective, and how is that influencing their data strategies?
So one of the interesting things was when you looked at although there was an economic downturn, we found that there was increased investment in automation, cloud adoption, and an increased focus on financial reporting and predictive analytics. And we found that the top trends in the overall organizational data strategy was cloud adoption, advanced analytics, workflow automation, digital transformation, and artificial intelligence and machine learning, as well as data ops. And this, to me, this was not too surprising because we see a movement towards decision intelligence where we're talking about the human being supported by technology, so they call it human plus. So where organizations can make more automated decisions or augment their decisions using humans and technology. So those were the trends that I noticed within the data.
What trends are you looking at, Diana?
Yeah, another trend that we're seeing is that companies are investing in digital transformation and automation to help them reduce costs and also maximize their existing resources.
Are these the same trends, Josh, you're seeing in the market?
We certainly see those trends. I mean, we see it in a couple of ways. One is that this notion of AI and automation, which is a real demand driver, frankly, for data integrity, right? That for those initiatives to be successful, those technologies to produce the business outcomes you're looking for, it just raises the stakes. You have to have high integrity data. So that's a key kind of demand that we see from customers. The second is in our products, we actually are using some of those capabilities, AI-based capabilities, to help data practitioners be able to more quickly or more easily, create and manage rules from a data quality perspective. And so we certainly see those trends, and it's something that I think we're living through a very exciting time. I think businesses require this high level of agility to react to kind of changing macroeconomic environments. but they also want to be, they want to be agile, but they want to do that in a decision-driven way or data-driven way. And so, we've never seen this focus on data strategy and data kind of based decisioning. It's never been higher, and so it's a great opportunity for us to engage with customers.
Now, this is the second time that LeBow and Precisely have teamed up for a study. Previously, we did it around data governance, broadening it this time to focus more broadly on data integrity. I think my favorite thing is you just never quite know what the results are going to show. Diana, what surprised you the most?
Well, as we know, data quality was cited as the #1 challenge and the #1 priority across organizations, which really isn't surprising. But what was surprising to see was just how pervasive data quality is across the study, from human capital to foundational assets, affecting things like executive support for data programs and also the infrastructure required to run those programs.
Yeah, I mean, we certainly see that theme, and I'd say a couple of trends we've seen is one is let's say the definition of data quality has grown a bit, which is, not only is it correct and accurate, but is it well governed? Can I trust this data because it is governed? And then kind of this measurement over time, right? Just because you fix something one day doesn't mean it's going to stay fixed. It can change, and so this notion of observability. So I think it's really about how do you build a system that is always on, that's always scanning that data kind of across the environment and allowing the business to engage with that data to constantly improve it. And it's a more sophisticated view than what we would have seen 10 years ago. But when you look at the complexity of data and the amount of data that customers are ingesting and wanting to analyze, it's clearly required.
Morgan, I know that nothing really surprises you, but there had to be something in the report. What stood out?
Well, I was surprised to see the amount of times location-related data and spatial analytics was mentioned. For example, 76% of the respondents reported that their reliance on accurate location data for decision-making. They talked about purchasing tools that help them to derive insights for spatial analytics. And I also found that location-related data was strongly associated with the quality of data.
Yeah, so I mean, this is something that we talk a lot about. We have a large kind of set of capabilities and business in this space. And it comes down to this element of context. I mean, we certainly have capabilities to help people build maps. But what we see in the more sophisticated users is they're using spatial analytics capabilities to do additional calculations to add additional attributes to an entity, whether that's a product or a consumer. And so what we see is that context really helps you understand this entity better and make sure that it is correct. And you have the benefit of being able to kind of compare and do that off of a thing like an address that has a known location and build these attributes in a very confident way to give you more context and more accuracy. And so I think it's a really powerful tool that we see customers adopting more and more across a wide variety of industries and a wide variety of use cases.
In such a rapidly changing dynamic environment like the one we're in, it seems like probably for many members of our audience, they're kind of focused on what's around the corner and what's coming next. Morgan, did you pick up on any signals in the research? Is there anything that you're going to be keeping a particular close eye on as we go forward here?
Yeah, I think what I found was more and more companies are looking at ways to enrich their data with third-party information, because just having your internal data is not sufficient in this complex world. So one of the top priorities was to enlarge or to increase the data enrichment. And also, I found the number of data integration projects. The companies found it difficult to integrate various data formats. I also found that organizations were moving from being passive observers to more active users now.
Yeah. What signals did you pick up on, Diana? What are you going to be keeping a watch out for?
Well, something else to watch relates to the challenges facing the success of organizations' data programs, where we found that 45% struggle with effective data management tools. Another finding from the survey shows that companies struggle with viewing their data from a holistic approach, so managing their data assets in a way that really connects to the business objectives.
This has been a great discussion. Clearly, data leaders are being called upon more than ever to deliver trusted data for confident business decisions. And they're doing so, in many cases, under really challenging circumstances. Thank you, Morgan, Diana, and Josh, for your time and insights.